Welcome to Only One You Need Radio. We're not the only one you need. You are. We just show you how to get out of your own way. With your host, speaker, author, business coach, and consultant, David Dubé.
Hey, it's David Dubé here. I want to thank you for joining me in this radio show where we're going to talk about beliefs and the power of beliefs. Because in essence, beliefs are really everything and very few people understand or realize that your beliefs create your perception. They create your reality. So if you don't know what your beliefs are, if you don't fundamentally have a grasp on your beliefs structure, well, essentially, you aren't in control then of your own life. Your destiny is in the hands of your beliefs, and your beliefs are either what help make you successful or they hinder you from success. They keep you from success. So my question to you is, which would you prefer? Which would you rather? Would you rather attain success and do it shorter, quicker? Or would you rather not attain success very quickly and maybe flounder throughout most of your life? You know, if you're listening to this, obviously I'm going to presume that you want success and that it's something that you're constantly striving towards, moving towards, and wanting in your life. If that's the case, then you really need to begin to understand the fundamentals of who you are and belief in general. See, everything in life, everything we do in our lives is based upon beliefs. So this is a kind of a crazy subject because, so if you're in sales, you may or may not consider yourself in sales, but everyone technically is in sales. Most people just don't realize or understand that they are. You know, if you wear makeup, you're in sales. If you ever recommended a book, a movie, you're in sales. So you're always selling your ideas. And maybe it's not selling. I think maybe the better term is influencing. So the intriguing thing about beliefs is, you know, the fact that they create your perception of reality. So if you're greatly offended by a many thing, then you don't necessarily understand your beliefs in general. If you are constantly being moved by life, then you are, there's the victim and there's the actor, there's the person who creates the reality or someone who's malleable based upon the actions of other people. So there's reactionary people and there's actionary people. And you need to decide which one you want to be. And if you want to be an actionary person, you have to begin realizing that your beliefs are what are hindering you from being that. And if you are a partial, because, you're someone who lives on that border where you're going back and forth because your home life, maybe you might feel you're out of control and you want to be in control and you're not. Or maybe it's your work life that's that way and your home life's different. Either way, there might be a contrast between one and the other, which makes you feel like you're a different person when you show up, at home versus at work or at the job. And when you realize that it has a lot to do, really all to do with your beliefs, then that can begin to change. And to me, this is the beginning of the rest of your life. This is the beginning of the control of the rest of your life. Control in a way that you don't need control. You don't need to take the wheel and steer, because the only thing that you ultimately have control over is you and how you act or react to things. And, think of a child. I don't know if everyone's different and everyone, so if you don't have a child in your life or you haven't had a child in your life, you may not be able to relate to this. But if you've been a child, maybe it might be easier for you to relate to it in that aspect. If you think of a child, what children do often is they push mom and dad's buttons. And they're trying to, really what they're doing is they're seeing how far something can go before mom and dad react to it or take action on it. And that's something that most adults stopped doing. We stopped pushing limits because, like an elephant in a circus, what happens is when the elephant is really young, what they do in the circus is they would put a chain and a stake. So the one end would be staked into the ground and the other end, so the chain, and then wrapped around the leg. And so as a child, this elephant can only go as far as that chain will allow it to. And after that, it stops. And because of years of the same thing, now as an adult, all they have to do is literally tie a string around that elephant's leg, and the elephant believes that it is inhibited by a chain when really it's just a string. And so the bonds of that same action over the course of time are so strong that it doesn't even try to break free. And this happens with us and our beliefs and the structures in which we keep that prevent us from living and experiencing the life that we once dreamt of having. But because those bonds are so strong, we don't do it anymore. So your beliefs create how you interact with society, with the world, with friends, family, everything and everyone. And when you become an actor, instead of someone who's acted upon, you begin to be the one acting out. Now, acting out can be construed wrong, acting out not like in a negative way, but acting in a positive way where other people are now becoming reactionary to you, which really not necessarily means that they're becoming reactionary to you, but you're leading your own space. You're defining your own space. You're defining your own way. When you define your own way, you show others how to do the same. You become, in essence, that person that in doing, other people want to be around, they want to do what you do. They want to emulate you. And so knowing this stuff is invaluable. Also, your beliefs, the way we act based upon our beliefs, if we change that, if we can dial that differently, our lives really drastically begin to change. Beliefs make up your mindset. So if you want more sales, if you want a better life, if you want literally anything, it's all a reflection of what and how you believe what you believe. So I know someone very, 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 very well who's led their lives based upon other people's reactions. So much so, they've never come into their own, ever. They are a person whom, and you may know people like this as well. And it's interesting when I am out and about with a certain individual, they apologize to everyone for everything. Even if they didn't do it, they will literally apologize for me. They will apologize for other people, even though it has nothing to do with them. They feel like they're responsible for them. Individuals like this, they don't know who they are. They've never defined themselves ever. And because of this, society is how they base their lives. They're external, internal. When you flip that upside down, when you turn that around and you lead internal to external, you no longer have to apologize for anything. ever, because you are fully you all the time. Now, I promise you, it's hard to be fully you all the time. It really is. It's not as easy as one might think it is. You know, there's a place for it and a place not for it. You can't always be 100% turned on all the time and just be there and just, I got this. No one is that way. At least if there is, it's like 0.00000, like tiny minuscule percent of the population. But you think about that, you'd be drained. So capacities are only what they are. So, but being able to turn that on and be there is really invaluable. And knowing when to turn it on and when to turn it off, that's also invaluable. So people really need to understand their beliefs, their limits, who they are, what they want, how they want it, all this kind of thing. When you don't have any of that defined, you will begin and you will lead your life based upon society's rules of who and what you're supposed to be. And when you do that, you fall for everything. You literally fall for everything. You will accept the words of those whom you trust as God's word. Whether or not you believe in God, it is like it passes right through your filters, and it's like that's it. But when you know yourself and you've defined yourself and you know what your beliefs are, that can be molded and life can change to how you want it to turn out, how you want it to be, and you're no longer a victim to the what-isness of life. Beliefs are so important to understand. Like, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of the importance of belief and knowing what yours are and figuring those out and defining them and cultivating them. So before I go, I want to, create a picture of how a belief is formed and the structure of a belief. So if you think of a tabletop, and something occurs in your life, and based on that occurrence, you now form a belief of that occurrence. And you have another occurrence. So maybe it's like a broken heart, right? Someone treated you negligibly, poorly. And so now you feel like heart's something I need to protect, right? So that's your belief. I need to protect my heart. I need to protect who I love and how I give love out because I get hurt. And so now that that's happened once, it's on this tabletop. So it's above the floor, but there's no legs under it. It happens again. Now there's a leg under it. It happens again. Now there's another leg under it. And the more and more this happens, the more and more legs are under it, propping it up, making it stronger and stronger and stronger. That belief is now so strong that it's, 4 legs are holding it up or more. It's going to be hard to knock those down. It's going to be hard to knock those down until someone or something changes that perception for you so it no longer then holds authority over you. Because what happens is beliefs hold authority over you, your decisions, how you think, and how you act. All beliefs, whether right, wrong, indifferent, doesn't matter, are what creates our logical decisions. I want you to pay attention to this. So before I go, I really want you to know this. Your beliefs, right, wrong, indifferent, does not matter. What happens when someone says something to you, it creates so your logical explanation for something is whether or not your belief is logical or illogical does not matter. We rationalize based on emotions. So and beliefs are all created by emotion. And so when you think something or when someone says something and it sounds so irrational, it's because of a belief that they have on whatever topic, subject it is, that is irrational based on an experience they've had or experiences they've had. Emotion is what creates your beliefs, right? You had some strong emotional occurrence happen, and instantly you associated that event and the outcome of that event based upon that feeling. And when you do that, it creates that belief. So important to know. So this is like episode 1 of I don't know how many we will talk about in the order of beliefs. But to me, this information is so valuable. And I have so much more to share when it comes to beliefs and understanding them and changing them. So I'm really excited to bring you more of this. Anyway, that's all for this show. I'm so excited that you decided to join me today. Do me a huge solid. If you really liked this episode, if you thought this information is good, if this is helpful to you, if you also have questions, make sure you post questions, ask questions, subscribe and rate the channel. That's going to be absolutely huge. And I'm so excited for you to learn more of this stuff. And I'm so excited to share more of this stuff with you. Other than that, thanks so much for joining me. Find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, find me wherever, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. It's time that you be the person you're meant to be. Believe in all that you're capable of and become more than you thought imaginable. Dave Dubé.